Well, hello everybody. I want to introduce you to a piece of software that I have been writing over the last few weeks called Moria Mod Creator. So it is in beta. Look, mods are dangerous. Use them at your own risk. But this creator fixes one of the biggest problems with mods in the Unreal game engine that mod the game files directly. Not the UE4SS mods, which are an actual add-on, which I consider even more dangerous because it kind of links to and modifies the code. These actually change the data tables in the game, and there are restrictions. So when you're looking at Nexus mods, for example, and I'm going to bring up my browser here, you can see Lord of the Rings Return to Moria, and there are all these mods, and there's some great mod writers out there. Squiddy, Toby Chiru, who I call Toby myself, and many, many, many others. And one of the biggest problems is when the game patches, the files are re-indexed and combined, and you have to wait for the mod creators to fix their mods. And so you kind of use them at your own risk because you have to turn off the mods to actually wait until someone updates it and then put the mods back before you can use the mods again. Sometimes they're very invasive. So, for example, Secrets of Khazad-dûm has a lot of added build items along with King's Weapons, and Toby does a great job at building these. And he's added all kinds of cool weapons and banners and different build items with different capabilities, curved walls, and so on and so forth, and they are really, really, really cool. The problem is that if you don't update your mod and you load a world, it could corrupt it. And so in my previous, and it's about to release, I have a Moria manager, and I'm about to get my certificate. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to do a release 1.0 and put it here on the mods channel on Nexus. I'm also going to show you where to get it on GitHub if you want to get it there. And it will be a signed executable, so it shouldn't trigger the security warning. Now, I will tell you that my beta releases, which are not signed, will trigger Windows to say, hey, I don't know about this application, it's not signed, do you want to run it anyway? You're not going to see that when I run it because I've already accepted it since I'm the creator, and it would really annoy me to do that every 5 minutes when I ran it, but you will get prompted. I can tell you that I scanned it, it will be signed soon, but when I do a full release. So I'm going to show you how I've overcome some of these limitations. Now, one of the other big limitations that exists is Secrets of Khazad-dûm, by the way, and King's Weapons. They add things to files that are in the game, namely the building recipes and the crafting recipes. And if something else were to touch those recipes, say, example, my Clean Fat Stacks mod, where I change the stack size, it would conflict and you cannot use the two of them together and it would crash your game. And so folks have been, like, I know Toby has taken Secrets of Khazad-dûm and incorporated fat stacks in it himself, and the number of possible combinations has gotten way out of hand. And so with the having to wait for someone else to update your game every patch and having to take the risk on mods and having this conflict, the barrier for entry for a lot of people is too high and too risky. But after playing the game straight for multiple years, I can tell you that I want to tweak the game to the way I want to enjoy it. Now, the game is non-competitive. Mods are not supported by the devs, and they are used at your own risk. And I'm going to put warnings into the final release. But I want to tell you, you can use them, and you can use them safely if you take your time. And this is meant to make it easier. And so I will leave the link to Nexus mods in this video. Here is my GitHub. Now you can go to my Discord channel if you like, and you can download on Discord if you're a member of my channel. Let's go here. Oh, Toby and Axebeard sent me a message. How nice. I'll get to that in a minute. In my channel, The Adventures of Mereak Firmaxe, you will see mods and scripts, and I put my releases up here. So my Moria Manager is here, and my Moria Mod Creator is here, plus the definitions and mod files, which we'll go over how to use. But if you don't want to join, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. I will show you how to get them off of the link that I'll leave at the bottom of this video to get to Moria Mod Creator on GitHub. Now you can see all the source code, and it is under MIT license, so if you wanted to download it, install Visual Studio Code, take all the raw code, compile it on your own, and run that, you certainly can. So all the code is here to see. It is under MIT license, so it's pretty much open. You could take it, modify it, branch it, as long as you continue to give me attribution. That's all that matters. It is free, and it is, of course, use at your own risk. And if you can help me test, if you find an issue up here under issues, please enter an issue for me. I'd really appreciate it. I've written test cases. You'll see there's automated test cases in this code already, and I try to follow best practices. I think I have a pylint. It is written in Python score that's pretty high right now, but I plan on refactoring a little code. You'll see here major refactoring. I try to break things up. Now under releases, if you go to releases, you will see the latest release is beta release V05, and there are three, of course, the source code and everything else. You're probably not going to want those, but there are the MoriaMODCreator.exe, and then definitions and mod files. Now I'll tell you what those are in a minute. So you're going to want to download these three files. So you just click on them, and you'll see they download to your downloads directory. All right, I'm going to close that. We're going to bring up, I don't want to record OBS and OBS. That would be very confusing. All right, in your downloads directory, you will have a Moria Mod Creator executable. It is a standalone executable. You can put it wherever you want. And you will have definitions.zip and mymodfiles.zip. Now, I'm going to move this aside. Well, I'm going to minimize this for a second. And we're going to run Moria Mod Creator. And the first time you run it, you will get prompted to give it an install path. So it's going to want your Steam or Epic or custom install path. And if you choose Steam, it'll take the standard. If you choose Epic, it'll choose the standard. If you choose custom, it'll choose the standard. And then it's going to want to know where you want to put utilities, your output directory, your mymod files, and so on and so forth. Now I put them in app data. So let's talk a little bit about that. So if you type in if you didn't know about this, percent app data, close percent, it'll send you to the app data directory that is assigned to your account in Windows. You'll notice that it goes to C, users, John B, because my middle name begins with a B, app data and roaming. And so I don't install things in program files. I don't want anything to get anywhere near a Windows executable. And I created a Moria Mod Creator here. Now, when you fill that out, it'll create these files. So I suggest you put them wherever you want. But I put them in app data roaming using that percentage app data. And then I created utilities. I created output. I created mymodfiles and definitions. Now, I could have created an installer and built all of those for you, but a lot of people don't like it when someone else decides where they put their files. I'm one of those people. But this is the directory structure I suggest you put in, and configure.ini file is created by the application, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so and I try to match the Windows theme. You can do light mode, dark mode. If my theme is in dark mode, I want it in dark mode. And then you'll hit save, and it will bring you to the application screen, but nothing will be here yet. So you're going to have to close it. You're going to close the application, and then you're going to look at your zip files. You're going to have definitions.zip, and you're going to unzip this into the definitions directory wherever you put it. These are the JSON, these are, XML files called definition files, .def, that are pre-configured, and you can change them in the interface. I'll show you how to do that. But they are pre-configured for use in the game to change variables in the game. And using these definition files, we can avoid conflict. So you can have multiple things that touch building recipes, or multiple things that touch items like fat stacks and other properties without conflicting with one another. So these are the definitions that you will use. And then there's mod files. Now I went on Nexus, and I reverse engineered a whole bunch of mods, including those created by other authors, and I pre-populated them. And you're going to unzip my mod files and put them in the my mod files, that directory that you created, whatever you called it. You're just going to put them in there. You're going to unzip that file into here. Very easy. I'm sure most of you have used zip before, but you just put the zip file in that directory, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to cut this here. We're going to put it here. And you're going to say extract here. Boink. And you can delete the zip file. There you go. And then you're going to do the same to definitions. Ignore the fact that it's there. Yours will be blank. You're going to cut that. You will likely not get this prompt. It's because I have other utilities on my computer. And you're going to I use WinRAR, WinZip, zip, whatever. And you're going to extract here. And you can delete the zip file. And that's it. Okay, now that you have your files loaded, you have to import the game files. So if you come up here to import and click import, it will import all of the game files from the directory that you specified here, Steam or Epic or whatever. It'll import them into the output directory that you defined in a retalk directory. Now, the word retalk is for utility, which you will have to download, and I'll tell you where to put it. And it'll put all the game files expanded here. So it unpacks the pack file and the associated files with that into readable UAsset files. All right. After that is done, you will hit convert, and it'll convert everything into the output file into JSON data. JSON is readable, more readable by humans. UAsset are still binary. So it will do all that. Now, in the description below, you will find a list of utilities you need to download. Fmodel, Retalk, UAsset, GUI, and XenTools. And I'll put the links below of the ones that I use. And they go into the utilities directory where you defined it here. Utilities, right here. And the setup. Okay. So now you have your definitions, your mod files, so the pre-built mods that I have defined, and you can define your own, we'll get into that. The definitions of the changes to the files. You'll have your output directory populated with the game data, and you will have your utilities in place. Now, every time the game patches, you're going to have to, before launching the game, you're going to uninstall all of your mods. And then you're going to hit import again, and then convert again. And in the final version, this will look prettier, and I'll clean up the workflow. And there'll be some checks to make sure that you've put everything in the right place, but I haven't done that yet. So you're going to hit import. You're going to hit convert after import is done, and you're going to wait. Now, import's relatively fast. The convert is slow. Like, go eat dinner and come back an hour later slow. Conversion to JSON takes a long time because I do every game file since I don't know which one I'm going to need in the future. Various times where even though there's one definition file over here, you have to find other files in the game, like string tables, for example, to get the actual names of objects and so on and so forth to make them readable. So this is not straightforward. It is straightforward once you use this application, but when you're actually doing it, it is not. Okay, so now we have all of our stuff in place. We have our definitions in place. We have our the pre-done mod files in place. We have our data from the game converted to UAsset and converted into JSON. And then we have our utilities in place. And all the links to all of that will be below. All right. Wow, we're 22 minutes in and I haven't even gotten to build a mod. Luckily for me, this is relatively straightforward. So let's look at clean fat stacks. A lot of folks are familiar with that. That is a mod that I built on Nexus mods. So you can see that here. Clean fat stacks. And so let's say I'm not around to build this mod anymore, but you love this mod as much as I love this mod. And others have built it before me, by the way, and I'll show you where I give them attribution in the files when you're building. But You know, this is one of the big issues, because you don't want, for me, what if I'm on vacation or I'm working or I'm sick and I don't update it and you're like, I really want to play? Well, this is how you would do it. You'd select clean fat stacks, you'd hit apply. It will pre-select the definition files you need. Oh, by the way, yellow means some of the items are selected, blue means they're selected completely. So let's look at fat stacks for items. Now, it's going to take a minute to process here. This pane are the definitions that are pre-canned that you will I showed you how to install. This gives the mod a name, and I'll show you how to create your own mod in a minute. But we're doing clean fat stacks right now. This will build the mod, so let's wait to do that. This shows you every object in the game. In the DT items list, not all of them are available. You'll notice that there are multiple build lore scrolls. I don't know why. There are things like altar figurines, blue and red. They don't exist in the game. And other things, there's no reason to stack them, like the Ballin's key or Ballin's letter. I mean, you could stack them if you wanted. Fur is not in the game. That's accessible. I think there's some pink opal as well that's not in the game. There's things called test or unshippable. I'm very careful not to touch those things because I have no idea what they're going to do. But this is all pre-canned. You don't have to touch any of this. But if you did, you could change it. So the name is the name of the item. The property is max stack size. Now that you can't change that. The original value was this. I tell you the original value, and then I tell you you can change it. And let's say you didn't want 9999, you could literally change it all to 999 if you wanted. And if you wanted to do that, you would hit save when you were done adjusting, and it will update the file. Now, let's say after an update, things are added to the game, which happens, and you have a new item added to the game, which is cool. So in the last update with Durin's Folk, we got Elven Silk. So this would have been unchecked. It would have looked like that. And you would look through the list and say, this update, I got a new item in the game. We would click it, and then you would hit save. And down here it says saved 84 changes to the definition file. So you can update the definition files on your own. You don't have to wait for me if something is added to the game for you to adjust. After you do the import and the conversion, the new items will appear here. You will click on the item you want. You will adjust its size to what you want, and for the max stack size, and you will hit save. And all of the definition files here do that, whether they're ores. These are all the ores. Oh, there's pink opal. Ores in the game, and so on and so forth. So let's say you re-import, you're all set. I want clean fat stacks updated before Mereak does it, and you hit build. And you see the status down here, and it's going through, and it's going and taking all the game files, adjusting the JSON files given the definition files here, and then it's reconverting and repacking them into game files, the normal pack files. And it put it in your downloads directory, cleanfatstacks.zip. Now I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes. Under My Mods, if you look at Clean Fat Stacks, you'll see there is a final mod directory. There are the adjusted UASset and JSON files, and this is the file that contains the data of what was selected to change. Please leave that alone. If you wanted to browse those files, you could, but under Here you see there's a directory with your pack file, ucas, and utalk files. But you don't have to pull it out of here. If you go to your downloads directory, you will see, oh, let's get rid of that, clean fat stacks. And if you open it, you will see that there's a directory there. So let's for a moment I'm going to move this onto my desktop. And I'm going to use my Moria Manager utility, which also has its own video in GitHub. So this one's about to be released. I'm on version 1.4. I'm getting ready for final release as soon as I get the certificate to sign it, which is on its way. I qualified and went through the background check, so I have the cert. I'm waiting for my YubiKey, which is a FIPS compliant, for those of you that are into security key to put the certificate on. Very excited about doing that. All right, my Epic game. So I have Steam and Epic and custom install, but I'm not going to show you how to use Moria Manager today. There's a separate video on that, but it makes installing mods very easy. So here is Epic Games, and here's my list of available mods. I have no mods, and so I'm going to drag that zip onto this, and bam, it creates and installs the mod for you into an available mods directory. And then to install it into Epic, you ready for this? Bam, it's now installed in Epic. That's it. Now when you run Epic, and give it a minute because I rebooted my machine and Epic Games wasn't running. I don't normally run them.
Our story.
Probably not going to hear this. I have all my test characters. Testing, test. Anyway, let's play Mereak. Let's see, load world. Let's go into my storage world real quick. I use Epic for testing. I don't really use Epic for gaming. I use Steam for that. By the way, if you don't have this game and you were just curious, this game is fantastic, by the way, and very cheap. Okay. All right. Anyway, so here you go. Let's so we split it by 100, put it back in there, hit sort, and it combined it again. So Fat Stacks is up and operational, and that's all you have to do to update it. I know it sounds like a lot, and when it finally comes, when I'm out of beta, it'll seem a lot easier. So now let's quit that. We're going to minimize this, and let's go back to our interface. So let's see what other mods you can get. You can get clean fat stacks, no weapons. You can hit build. I'm just going to build all of these really quick, by the way. And it packaged it, told you what it was doing, and put it in there. Durable armors. Now, if you ever wonder where these came from, up at the top, durable armors was Mamena? Yeah, I don't know how to say that. But on Nexus, you'll find durable armors, and this is the person that created it. And then I wrote a quick description of what it does. It goes into DT Armor, which is the name of the game file, and it changes all the durabilities. You'll see that there was a tailor's hat, but it was cut, so I don't touch those. There are the dev items here. Didn't touch any of those. In fact, the dev gloves were already at 9999 for durability. Grocer's hood. This was a good example. I don't believe we have a grocer's hood. And helmetless is just the look in the game. There is no durability for that. Anyway, Scholar's Cap. Let's say we wanted Scholar's Cap, so you can click that. You can adjust it. You can hit save, and then from now on, every time that it builds, it'll be set to that. So durable armors, we just hit save, and it saved the definition file, and we're going to build durable armors. It's packing the mod files, and it put it in the downloads directory. Now we're going to take each one of these in turn, and we're just going to build them real quick. The next thing to add, by the way, is building pieces are a little harder. So if you wanted custom weapons, armor, and building pieces, different walls, and so on and so forth, this is Epic Packs Everywhere. Fat chests combined with Epic Packs Everywhere. So let's look at Epic Packs Fat Chests Everywhere. So under storage is a definition file for Epic Packs Everywhere, and it adjusts a bunch of different things. Now let's say we wanted a new mod. Let's say we just wanted to increase storage. So fat chests, or fat storage, because it'll do packs too. You could hit apply, and it'll create a new place to put the files, and then you can go in and you can choose what you want to do with it. And so you could click, I want to expand the width of the items in question. So here's chests, here's packs. Okay. There's a bunch of other things here. We're probably not going to touch those because we don't really know what it does. But let's say we wanted our packs and chests to all be maximum size. So we check our packs, and we check here. And then we look up here, it says adjust width, packs 5 max, storage 8 max. So 5 and 8. Okay. Now those maxes are based on the UI, and you literally can hit, I just created this one from scratch. Hit save, and then it changed it, and then you can hit build. And bam. Build complete, and it just created fat storage. So that's how you can create your own. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, fast monuments. That's another one I created. Allows you to build monuments instantly. It was really to get around the NPC bugs of having to sit there while they built your monuments. Hopefully they'll finish taking care of it. Let's look at fat loot. Under loot, this adjusts drop chance to 100% and adjusts the minimum maximum quantity. And if we click here, it'll tell us there's been a variety of members. I put in member twice, but I have a love-hate relationship with the English language and grammar. Vertigard, Kinwea, and Squiddy have all built mods to adjust drop chances and quantity. And so here you'll notice that there are 1 means 100% chance to drop. So the value is a percentage. 1 equals 100. 0.25 is 25%. So if you wanted everything to drop at 100%, there you go. And then you could go down here and you can define minimum quantities and under here maximum quantities. And so the minimum quantities are set at baseline 10, and you can adjust the others up or down if you want. So I had one, it was already at 10. And remember, value is what's in the game files, the standard game files. And you can come here and adjust it to what you want. There is no check to make sure minimum is less than maximum, and I suggest you do that or the game will get confused. So just make sure your maximums are higher. If you look at my maximums, I set the maximum to 100, but there were some that I adjusted given what I put in the other file to higher than that. For example, orc scrap. Or Bulgax drops of coins. Anyway, so once that's done, if you want to make any adjustments, don't forget to hit save, and then of course you hit build. And we are processing down here, and it'll tell us that we're done here. Done. Fat storage we already did. Fat trade. This is one that I did. I think there's a version of this too that Squiddy did called Moria Black Friday. So if you wanted to see what Squiddy's version does, you can go look it up on Nexus Mods. I try to give attribution everywhere that I possibly can. And we hit build, because we're just going to take the standard that's already defined for us. We're not going to make any adjustments. Longer buff duration. There's all the buffs that I could find. If you look in buffs, it's all of these. And for each one of these, again, Death Majesty created longer treasure pile buff. And Kunweya created one as well to adjust buffs. So I try to put all the buffs together, because some of them, like for the treasure piles, are on a curve in the game and adjusted by how much stuff and how big the pile is and how much stuff is in it, whereas other buffs are just length of time. And so there were different mods, but if you want to combine them into one mod, just build it. And it tells you the status here. So you know that it's doing something. Mental stability was one that I had never used, but I like it. So this gives you unlimited horizontal distances, basically. The game already has, by the way, okay, so the number here is 1 million. And in the game, you'll see 1E plus 09 if you look at the code. That's just math notation for 1 million. 1 plus, followed by 9 zeros. This is vertical stability. Horizontal stability. Vertical stability is already maxed in the game. So they did that a couple of patches back before Durin's Folk. These are the current values of the game, and there's a complex math equation. I have videos on this, but once you apply this, it's pretty much unlimited. And as long as this is running, this mod is running, everything will be stable. Now, I will warn you that again, if you take off the mod and you load the game and you've built something unstable, these numbers suddenly come back, your building will fall apart, which is why this application is so important. No fall damage. I thought this was interesting. I know some people really fear, but there are 3 scaled tables, lethal, linear, and scaled, but they are complex tables in the game, and this changes all of them so you can fall without dying. Now, I will tell you, if you fall in water or you fall something else, like off Durin's tower, it will put you back like normal. You just won't die from a normal fall. And unlocked NPCs. Now, Squiddy did one of these. And there are 2 numbers. One is how many NPCs you can have, and the other one is how many in a single settlement. I did a bunch of testing. Squiddy's made unlocked NPCs, and he put it at 99. I have a pretty powerful machine, and it will bring my computer to a crawl. Not if you have 99 and they're spread out, but if you have 99 in one place, because, I had to try it, just don't. And you can have those at every level of your establishment, or your, you don't have to wait till level 7 to get it. Now, if you wanted to adjust these and say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you could, and you hit save and you could build it. And then, of course, these are the different monuments you can have and how many. I just set it at 40. 40 seemed to be the most I could get and keep things reasonably stable. But you can adjust these numbers and hit save, and it will remember them for the next time you build. So let's build that. Now, those are all the pre-done ones. If you were watching very closely, you will have noticed that there were things in here that are not done yet. So restore building pieces from patch 1.2, which was created by Toby. I have not finished adding this yet. I need Toby's help. Really understanding it. And there will be a separate section for adding brand new weapons, armor, and building pieces based on Toby's designs into this to allow them to be choices. So there's going to be a new buildings here, and when you click on it, there'll be a list of new building items to add, or weapon items or armor items, whereas these change the attributes on the pieces altogether. Okay? May be a little confusing to explain, but trust me, you'll see new building pieces, new weapons, new armor, and you can add them to the game that aren't defined in it today. This is only about defining what's there today. And if some of them, like this, if you see this, that means it's part of the beta work in progress. Just leave it alone. Okay, now you have used this utility. There is a help. This is going to get expanded with some warnings and other stuff and a list of attributes for people for me to say thank you to folks. All right, so let's close this. And if we go to our downloads directory, we should find a ton of zip files. Look at all of these mod zip files. I'm going to put them on another window over here because there's just too many of them. I am going to delete them out of my downloads because I'm constantly building and testing and building and testing. Now I'm going to use Moria Manager to load them all. You can load multiples at a time if you wanted. There you go. All right, this is all of them. Now, here's the thing. These are all created just like the one on Nexus Mod. So if you have clean fat stacks and you have clean fat stacks with no weapons, these modify the same file. Sorry, I accidentally clicked one. And so these are going to conflict, okay? And it's gonna crap out on the game. So let me show you what will happen if you have a conflict in your mods.
Our story.
Did I click the right one? Yeah. Let's create a new world. Play offline. No, I want to create one. Or create world. Well, this should crash. If it doesn't, I'll be surprised. No? That's weird.
That was no normal dwarf blast. I need a torch. Too dark for dwarf eyes.
No? Fat Stacks is working. Those two should have conflicted. Oops. Not sure why it doesn't. Alright, probably have to edit that out. Oh. Anyway, maybe if I add another one here. All right, I want it to show a crash, so it's probably not going to show a crash.
Our
That's
story
my
is
luck. And it didn't. All right, I'll edit that out. So obviously you can't touch the storage and fat stacks and weapons no materials and fat chests all the time, right? I mean, it's going to conflict because these change the same things over and over and over again. So that's a bad idea. Let's say you wanted to combine a bunch of things into one big, massive mod. Call it my favorite combo. So we will run Moria Mod Creator, and we're going to call it my favorite mod combo. You can call it whatever you want. You're going to hit apply, and you're going to say, I really love buffs. I don't want to fall. I want durable armors and weapons and fat stacks. I want more loot. I want to increase max stack size. I want fast monuments. Oh, I want trading. I want to get those resources right away. I want to increase my storage. I'm not going to mess with more NPCs. Oh, and I want maximum horizontal stability because I never want my stuff to crash or fall down. I want it 1 million strength. Okay. I hope this works. It's building. This might take a minute. You can see down in the lower right here, this is processing all those JSON files, and then it's going to convert them into UAsset and then package them into the pack file, and it created my favorite mod combo. By the way, if you go back in here, I'm going to close this, and you go to my mods, you can find my favorite mod combo, and everything will be selected for you automatically. It remembers everything that you've done. Now let's load up Moria Manager and our download directory. In our download directory, there is the My Favorite Mod. We're going to dump that on here, and we are going to load My Favorite Mod. Now, I recommend not loading anything else with this, considering this combines every mod on the face of the planet that I have. And so we're just going to have one mod. It's called My Favorite Mod. If you look at the directory in the game, so this is Epic Games Packs Files. There's a directory, and it's there. And now we will run.
Our story.
This is the easiest, quickest test. Obviously, you'd want to test everything. And then if you did this and you hit sort, they all went back, so Fat Stacks is working. I don't think you can get anywhere high enough to hurt yourself.
Must be a way back to camp. Could try the doors of Doom from the inside.
But the durabilities are all there.
Firelight, we are not alone. Whoa,
I'm going to walk right by this.
Ah, are you from our camp?
Obvious this character has equipment, right? I got the spear and everything, so. Anyway, you play the game for a while, test it out. If you already have a ready-made game, let's load up. Let's see, do I have any games on here? Storage. I got a copy in my storage, which is a completed game with no Durance Folk Edition. Now, I will warn you again, this is beta, and I would appreciate people building stuff with it and testing and sending me bugs let's see. Crystal Descent. Well, let's see if no fall damage is actually working, or if I die. Nothing. And my durable weapon seems to be working because it didn't take much damage at all. So I've increased that. This makes going down the Crystal Descent a lot easier. Yay! So that's working. So you're going to want to play. You're going to want to test it out. Let's see how much silk with our fat loot. Oh, 899 fat. I killed like what, 8 spiders and a couple of nests, and I got 899 of those suckers. That's pretty good. I wonder how much. I got 78 meat from a rat. I got plenty of meat now. I did not include the file that adjusts for mining, I don't believe. When I went through this, because it's my story here, let's see. I looted a potato. That was just 4. Oh, it's only kills. It's kill loot that I... let me see if I can get an orc. Anyway, I would definitely walk through, test it out thoroughly, make sure all your mods are working, or your giant mod is working. Of course, when you want an orc, there's never one around. If I don't find one over here, I'm just gonna... Oh. Loading. Okay, let's see what we get out of these guys here.
I saw monsters in the air.
Alright, I had no chitin. Now I got 120. So that's working. Anyway, go through, work on, you know. Oh,
Another
I
time.
died. I'll go back and get my body later. Should have been paying attention. So that's it. You have now created your own mods. You can update your own mods. There will be further definition files along the way. You can customize it. You can change it. Careful not to push the limits of what the capabilities are. For example, a lot of folks for clean fat stacks, right? There are fat stacks mods that go up to 9999959s or even 6. It does bad stuff to the game. I put in the numbers that I am familiar with and told you up to, or the maximums I'm comfortable with. I mean, you can try, and if it breaks the game, it breaks the game. But I have tested these and know that these are okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's complicated, but it's really going to be easier, and it puts you in control of your mods. Please use mods at your own risk. Back up your game files, which is very easy, by the way, through Moria Mod Manager. I mean, literally, if you want to back up your game files, here are my game files, including tests that I just built, and all you have to do through Moria Mod Manager is back up all, and it backs them up, and if you ever need to restore them, these are all of the backups I've had over time, and somewhere in here you will see tests, well, multiple tests. I hope you enjoyed. Please try out the software, and if you have any bugs, go to GitHub, document an issue, and happy adventuring in the mines. Bye-bye.